Everybody, welcome to our show. As you see, Nick looks a little different today. Changed his name to Sharon. Okay, so we're gonna do things a little crazy. Thanks for joining us on WLTK-DB.
Let's say it again together.
WLTK-DB.
I had
Paranormal Talk.
Right.
That's us. So, okay, Todd, we get the bonus points. So we're going to do things a little differently today. Instead of like going ahead and covering one spot, we're going to actually talk about a few spots today. One, which unfortunately isn't there anymore, is Terminus Theater, where I went ahead and first saw the Estes method go down. It's the first time I ever tried scrying. It scared the hell out of me. Yeah. Stuff. I was like, oh, what? It's the demons coming out of the marriage now. So it's like, hey, I had to, still learning the Antioch, the lodge at Antioch.
Yes.
And then which ones are you gonna? Where did you?
The Baraboo Inn.
Baraboo Inn. We talked, yeah.
And Rhodes Hotel.
I didn't get to go to the Rhodes Hotel, so.
Oh, you didn't go. Okay.
Yeah, but you did. So we'll talk about what you saw. Yeah.
The Historical Society in Lake Villa. Broadhead Manor.
Oh yeah, the historical. And then there's the unknown location that we.
It's a deep, dark secret.
Shh.
And then Six Flags.
Yeah.
You didn't go to, but I went to. This was before.
Well, I went to before you did the thing. That was actually okay. So you guys remember, those who've gone ahead and seen the show, that Nick and Sharon and the crew were doing a show, and that's where they met me, and I really didn't know them. Well, one time we're walking off stage, right? And I'm like all into my character, being just like, rah,
Yeah, she was.
I was, and I'm walking off, and I hear somebody say, "Hey, lady!" Right, and I turned around and I looked at her, and the rest of my crew were like, "No, that's Sharon! Don't kill her!" Oh, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it's only me.
Yeah, but yeah, and so you guys, that must have been. I remember some of those pictures from Great America, like that one, that you caught coming through the steam or the smoke machine stuff. It's a full apparition. I was like, oh, that was really cool. So, where was your first haunt that you went to?
Oh, geez. Well, the very first time I went with Nick, we were at the mansion in Lake Villa. We were on the grounds. We went back to the
shed.
the shed, and then that other place behind the
Yes.
shed in the woods area. I
Uh-huh.
guess
Where
it was
the
your greenhouse. It was the greenhouse.
yeah.
And that place is fallen apart, but it's still there. They still have it, and there's something going on back there. You know,
Yeah, you can feel it.
yeah, you could feel it, and we were, the our meters were going off, and that was in the middle of the day. It,
Hmm.
because they're there in the middle of the day too. They're not just there at night. Would people think that the ghosts you can only get them at nighttime? But no, they're there all the time. It's just at nighttime it's quiet and you can hear, you can really pick it up. Where not in the daytime, you usually got the airplanes and the cars and making up all the noise. But yeah,
Yeah.
we did get something there. Oh, and then one time, I just thought of it now. I was with Nick and a couple other people, and we went with another group to a cemetery in, where was that? In Whitewater, Wisconsin. And it was late at night. It was dark. Nobody was there. It was real quiet. It was warm. And here's me and Nick walking together. And we heard somebody run up behind us. And we're like, oh, who's that? We turn around, there's nobody there. And then when we had turned around, it was real hot, muggy night and everything was dead. But this one tree, this one big tree was just like this, back and forth. And then it stopped. And we're like, what the hell? So Nick says, do it again. And it did it again, way back and forth.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So that was pretty exciting, especially when somebody was running up behind us because we thought it was, one of the group that we were with, but there was nobody there at all. But I don't know what cemetery it was, but it was in Whitewater. It was pretty exciting. And then that took me off somewhere. What were we talking about?
Just different places and stuff that we've been to and things that we've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Terminus. Yeah, Terminus was a place where these guys went in and created they had a stage. They had music there, and they had a comedy night, and a bunch of different things would go on there. But that place was very haunted, and so one night, me and Becca, Nick, and Greg, we were going to spend the night there. And the guy who owns the place, he locked the doors and he left. So we were laying in the hallway. And in the other room, the one of our equipment was going off. There was a REM pod. So we got up and we went in there, and of course it stopped when we went in there. So it was very, very uncomfortable where we were sleeping. We were laying on concrete. So we decided to go around and we got all settled on the stage. Now here we are, we're all by ourselves in this place, just the four of us. And we're on the stage. There was me and Nick and Becca, and then above us, Greg was laying. And, nobody really actually fell asleep. It was kind of like you zone, you're not really sleeping, you're half awake. But I was definitely awake. And I was laying there and I heard somebody, a man, it was definitely a man walking. He came from like the doorway. It was a long walk. He walked and then he walked around us and then he went through the doorway. And then a little while later, on the other side, because there was another doorway, it was like it go around, and from the other doorway, here comes the same man, right? And I'm listening to this, and I'm just laying there with my eyes closed. I didn't even open my eyes because I assumed it was him, the owner of the place, and then found out he was gone. He had been gone a long time. There was nobody there, just us four. And so who was that? walking through the place, you know. So we figured they were, whoever it was probably just checking to see who we were.
Yeah.
And another time I was there in the broad daylight, I was with Becca, and there was like a curtain. There was a doorway on the other side of the curtain, but it was a pretty big doorway. And we were talking, and it was like a see-through curtain. And I saw somebody in the outer office area, you know, in the reception area. Somebody walked by, and they walked by again. And I said, "Who's out there?" And they said, "Nobody's out there." I said, "Yeah, there is. He just walked by twice." So they went over there real quick, as fast as they could. And the second time he walked in the direction away from the doorway. So he couldn't, there was nowhere to go. He couldn't have left. So they went, and there was nobody there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you were talking about the scrying in the, there was a makeup room.
The makeup room.
All mirrors. And Scotty, who is our one of our mediums, he wanted to show us how to be doing the scrying. And that was really strange. And then Diana gets all freaked out. Tell us about
Not
it.
gonna lie. It's like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can do it now. I'm not quite so afraid. You know, when you start learning this stuff, it's like, oh, I'm gonna be possessed for the rest of my life. It's really hard. That's what's a fun thing, is that it's really hard to break the old stereotypes that you were brought up with. You know, if it's something that you don't know, then it's evil. It's like, okay, but yeah, no, it's the thing is with Terminus, it wasn't always from, I think, remember the stories that you would tell us, that it was a grocery store.
Yeah, it was kind of a grocery store and mainly a butcher shop. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the guy owned it, and he lived right across the street from it, and then heard somebody breaking in.
Huh? No, I think they broke in. Oh, I can't remember exactly how it was, but somebody broke in and shot him, but he didn't die. And but he chased the guy. But he was hurt, you know, because he got shot. But there was also a little girl ghost. I think her name was Sophie, who was there. And I wonder now if it's haunted. I was over there. It's like that. It's some kind of a store where you can go, and they all have all different kinds of stuff that's very cheap.
Oh, like a Dollar Tree Junior thing.
Dollar Tree Junior.
Yeah. So it's open again. Somebody bought it, huh?
Yeah, somebody's in there, and it's all open. All open. It's a very big open place, because, you know, they've just got rows of, you know, products for you to buy, different things.
And Liquidator. Okay, thanks, Courtney.
Okay, yeah.
We'll go with that. Dollar Tree Junior thing is probably not true, but
sounds better.
Oh, yeah. When I had bought my daughters to Terminus for one of the tours, and we were sitting in the back room, and Becky was with me, and Lexi was in a different group, and we were sitting there with Scotty, and Scotty was channeling the owner, and Becky kept asking questions, and she kept asking questions, and she kept asking the same question over, and that did not make the owner quite happy, because he was like, "What, are you dumb?" And she was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I think I came in the room at that time too. I was in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, And my poor daughter was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mom." It's like, don't be. Yeah, I'm not saying it. Scotty's not saying it. It's the owner who was
Right.
like, yeah. But then, he picked up more that, she was a hard worker and she was smart. So she just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So, don't do it. Sorry.
Well,
Little dog threat.
can you hear mine barking? Oh, no, yours is barking.
Yeah. Go to bed.
Oh, go to bed.
Go on.
Get
Sorry about that, guys. Sam's in timeout. So, yeah, that was my first couple of times, and yeah, I remember sitting in there, and all of a sudden we'd all be in the front up by the stage where the audience would normally sit, and you could hear people walking up from like the makeup rooms coming up front, and everybody that was supposed to be there was there. Go to bed. Sorry.
Yeah, and then one time we were there, somebody had gone out to McDonald's or somewhere to get some food, and they came back, and somebody left their change on the counter over by where where they controlled all the radios and the
In the booth, yeah.
And there was like a little shelf there, and somebody just dropped their change there. Well, while we're sitting there, somebody's actually picking up this change and throwing it at us.
Oh, the pennies.
And nobody was there. Yeah, nobody was there.
That's like, I miss going to that place.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it was always fun. And always there are shadows everywhere.
Yeah.
Shadows all
everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gotta turn off the TV for the dogs, aka close the curtain. Well, yeah, it was, and the plate, you could just feel it from the time you walked in. It was just like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah, the energy was just so strong there.
Yeah. What was the weirdest thing you ever saw there?
The shadows. And like I said, that man that walked past behind the curtain.
Yeah,
and the one that walked up, walked around the room.
Mm-hmm.
And because I think I was even trying to get Becca to wake up.
Wake up! Oh my god!
Yeah.
That would have been crazy. So then, the lodge at Antioch. The first time we went there, I was with a 9-year way. Okay. Okay. I heard her feelings. We had the spirit box, and we were down with Scotty, and we were down in the basement over by I want to say it was near the police room where you could hear the things. I don't remember what it was, but there was a whole conversation that they were having through the spirit box, and it was like, and people know that when you go ahead and you're listening to a spirit box, it could be like floor, tunnel, chain, fingernail, but these were actual responses that were definitely intelligent, straight on responses.
Right.
And it was like, whoa. One of them, I think, was a political joke was made. I don't even remember what it was, but the response, let's just say, was less than positive. It was just like either or called him an asshole or something like that. Oh, Terminus Theater, back to that real quick. With my daughter and I in one group, and then my youngest daughter with the other group, we went into the bathrooms and we had the spirit boxes going there. And when we were in the when we were in the bathroom, we got called assholes, straight up, no question,
Yeah.
right there, up and in your face. And when Alexis went in with her group, they were called wenches. It was like, oh, there's that. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, I do miss that place. But the lodge at Antioch was I never really felt anything. You could feel something, but I guess I was too distracted by the other people in the bar.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I got ADHD really bad. So it's like, squirrel, you know. And so um that place though, it was like in the basement where they would have the storage,
Yeah.
like the Christmas tree storage and the things like that. That's when you knew you were being watched.
Yeah.
You just you could, but I never felt anything like mad or evil or, you know, nothing like OBI.
Yeah. Well, the one time we were there at the lodge, we were down in the basement, and you know how it was like a long hallway, and I was standing up against the wall, and there was a man next to me, and next to him was his wife, and her necklace went like this and dropped, and we're like, holy cow. And then there was two girls on across from me sitting on the floor, and my earring was pulled out of my ear and thrown to the floor. Yeah. And the two girls went, whoa, what was that?
Say, God,
Yeah.
that would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
Scary, but kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the whole necklace coming up like that.
It did. It just went up like this and then dropped. And her husband was like, holy cow, I don't believe it. Ah.
How did you do that? We did it.
He was an unbeliever. Skeptic. So not anymore.
I guess not. There was no strings, and we didn't set his wife up or anything.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, because it was just, yeah. Oh, let's move on to the historical society.
Okay.
Now that was when I set Nick up, because we went up into the attic, and I found a doll.
He loves dolls.
Yeah, hates them. So I took this doll and I set it in the middle of the table, and then we kind of walked around. The biggest thing that I was drawn to that I just really couldn't stay away from was the wedding dress.
Oh yeah,
that was up there, and it was like, wow, that's just really cool. And then that one room that was just, it's like a little tiny room all the way at the back of a bigger room. That I felt uncomfortable. I felt very uncomfortable in that room. I was like, I don't know why, because I don't want to be in here.
Right. Yeah.
So what kind of things did you see there?
Again, shadows and tappings and noises, from behind you, and then one time we were at this different historical society, the one in Fox Lake, and we were having a conversation with somebody. I don't remember who it was, and I think it was a man. He used to be on the emergency squad or something in the ambulance, and we were asking him all kinds of questions, and he was answering us with the eddy meter. You know, the lights would flash a couple times for yes and then for no, and that went on for a long time, and I have it on film.
Cool.
Yeah, I filmed the whole thing, and I think there was just 3 of us there at the time, and that was pretty interesting. You know, he kept answering these questions, and you know, it was really exciting. But yeah, that was another place that was pretty haunted too.
Oh yeah.
But
and another one where I mean, well, all that history in there. Oh, that's where we did like the double Estes methods. Didn't we do that there
where?
in the historical society? In the big room where they had like all the museum pieces and stuff. Yeah. We put the balls out, the cat toys out. That's all I could think of them as.
Yeah, the balls.
And then there was Greg was doing one, and I don't know if it was Mike or somebody else. They were talking to each other, answering each other back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like they were. It was a friendly conversation. I remember that, but it was like they were talking back in the day that, you know, they were still alive. It was like, okay,
right.
Well, I mean, look at all that history that was there and all these, you know, objects that I'm pretty sure we're pretty attached to.
Well, there was one in that one room where they had all the stuff, all the museum stuff. There was a red coat. It was like a red overcoat. Do you remember seeing that?
Yep.
A lady's coat. Well, I had gone over and I was touching it, and it was just bzzz. It was just vibrating. And this other girl that was with us, she used to be on our team. I said, come here, you know, because I thought, well, maybe it was just me. I said, come here and feel this. And she was touching, and she says, yeah, wow, this is really vibrating. And I understand it was a coat from Mrs. What was her name from the mansion? But I can't remember what her name was. But
I'm horrible with names.
Yeah. But I guess it was her coat. And yeah, it was vibrating like crazy. And it wasn't just me that was feeling this. And then another time when we went in there, I went and touched it, and it wasn't vibrating at all.
Can't send them to bed.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh yeah. What is that called? The Lehman.
Mrs. Lehman. Yeah, the Lehman Mansion. Did you ever get a chance to go in the mansion?
I have not.
No,
I have not.
Yeah, once in a while they have, like in the park outside in a big yard, they have a band once in a while, and then they will take you on tours of the mansion.
Okay.
And I did it. Oh,
we have to take our first break. Yeah, it's going pretty quick. All right. So we will see you when we get back from this short break.
All righty.
Heard a girl scream down here.
Are you kidding me right now?
I'm listening.
Very well. Thank you so much.
Thanks for waiting, everybody.
Surprise.
Do. All right.
Now in the commercial, it was pretty good commercial. I like that. But it tells you to subscribe to Paraflix, and
Paraflix.
that's a really good idea. It's really good, very interesting.
They have
It's
so
real
many
stuff.
different, so many different teams and groups, and I mean, it covers the gamut.
Right.
You
Like I
know?
say, it's all real. It's not like ghost
Others.
adventures or those kind of shows that are on TV that are all. Most of it's kind of
They're kind of run by their own groups, kind of like we are, and they don't have to worry about what the producers are going to want you to say or what you want to do. It's real on, okay, pretty much unedited kind of. This is what we saw.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The real
so it
thing.
was. So let's talk a little bit about the unknown location.
Ooh, it's that place. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That to me was insane. Insane. It's you get in there, and the place is, God, how old? I mean, just forever kind of a place. And it's a certain kind of place where if you don't go in with the right intentions and follow the rules of your host, then you won't stay. They will kick you out. It's like, none of this is not what we're going to do, blah blah blah. So many things happened there with me. I think that was the first, well, no, because that was after OBI. OBI was definitely the first, whoa, wake up, this stuff is for real.
Right.
But it was, we went upstairs to their meeting room, and they had a skeleton there. And of course, you're going to walk into a room where there's a skeleton, and you're going to be like, oh, this is kind of creepy.
A real
right?
skeleton too. It was real.
Yeah. This one was real. And when we were up there, we had turned off the lights, and I was using the dowsing rods. Okay. And I'm sitting there and I'm holding them, and these things would whip and hit you. You're like, wait a minute. It's like, okay, if you're holding something, you don't want to start, hitting yourself with it. I mean, they would spin and they would hit you. And the thing is, I thought, okay, well, maybe this is just me not doing it right. We had another gentleman across the way, Mike, had his out, and he was getting hit with his, and it's like, what is it? Okay. Then I was sitting. Now I am sitting in an area by myself in these chairs. They had like 2 rows of chairs, and they were connected. They had like 30 that were connected, and I'm on that side of the room by myself, right? And all of a sudden I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden I feel like somebody's shaking the back of my chair, and I'm like, the hell is? And I'm like, okay. And I thought, well, trying to talk myself out of what I just felt, and I know I just felt. I'm like, okay, and I kind of stand up, and I'm like, okay, weird, right? And then I sit down again, and it shakes again, and I'm like, God, this can't be right. And then I'm like, okay, and I sit back down, right, and it does it again, and okay, instant reaction. I stood up and I said, "You motherfucker!" Then I stood up and I was like, "What? I'm sorry. I did not mean to be disrespectful. It just kind of came out." I'm sorry. like, Nick has that on film.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll be able to talk him into it next time that he's on and kind of show the whole MF story that I had. Then we had again with the basic. Sometimes the basic tools that you're using are the best. You know, I had the flashlight. You know how hard it is to find one of those twist on flashlights now?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can only get them like on a paranormal kind of
Right.
site.
Yeah.
So I kind of I got it and I put it down. Now this is in the middle of the room, right? No, actually, no, I had this one on the podium
Mm.
and nobody's around it. And it was like, okay, hey, if you're here, can you go ahead and turn it on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Can you turn it off now? You know, and it was like quick like that. Every once in a while, it would take a while to kind of go on and off.
Yeah.
But it was responding to just the weirdest. Yeah, it would. I mean,
Yeah. Right. I remember. Mhm.
yeah. And then how do I keep that permit? I
Well,
guess I don't know. I don't know. Courtney says, "How do you keep that permit?" But then I'm on to a different subject now, and so my brain has gone ahead and forgotten everything that I said already.
who are you
So,
talking to? Is there a ghost in the room?
no, Courtney. I'm on the comments. People are commenting. The
Oh,
skeleton. Ah, okay. Well, you know, I
oh,
don't
I
know.
see. Oh, yeah. The comments. I didn't have that on. Okay, I see now.
Okay.
There's people here.
Yeah, right. It's not just me and you, sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought it was just you and
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Oh, look at all those
That's quite.
people.
Oh,
Okay.
but I'm not exactly sure. Sometimes you can actually buy them from like for when you go to med school, you go to nursing school, they have people who have gone ahead and donated their skeletons or parts of their body for study.
Yeah.
So if like let's say the school closes or something like that, you know, you can buy it. Weird, but yeah. So then we were still up in the meeting room, and the one of our hosts, you know, said there was a member that had passed on
Mhm.
that was hanging around out, you know, there still. And the guy said, hey, why don't you go ahead and kind of show yourself to everybody that was here, or everybody that's in the room. And it was like, okay, well, it took a while, but by God, he was right here, right in front of me when he showed himself. And I was like, okay, I see you. You can go now. Thank you for playing. Bye bye. Bye bye. Don't make me cry. But yeah. And in the basement is where they had the funeral for that little girl that had passed away, remember?
I don't remember.
And when I was down there like earlier and stuff, I was kind of meditating and thinking, and alls I could see were lilies, pink lilies, you know. And you know, it was before I went ahead and knew what was going on. And so when we were talking about it later, I said, but there's something about pink lilies, and pink lilies is what the flowers were for the little girl who had passed away.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe I can see something more than I thought, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that's, you know, when you get, thanks, Courtney. When you get like that first time where, wow,
Mhm.
this is, It's what you're comfortable with. Yeah, and it's a learning process too. Got you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but especially, I mean, what I've been with you guys 3 years now, 4 years.
Been that long already? Wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's amazing when you're with a group that's like has this much experience and that is this tight and fun, and nobody kind of judge you in the group that you're in, and it's amazing. I belong to like the world's greatest group. But okay, love you. Enough of the enough of the feels. Let's move on. There was back to the unknown location. We were doing I was doing an Estes method up there. You're crying. You're crying. Courtney loves to you. So I'm doing the Estes method, and I'm sitting there, and I'm singing the words, and I think, well, while I was doing that, Nick was looking around. Well, Nick was gonna go and look at something he was not supposed to, and and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, at the same time he was just about to do that, I say, don't, because that's the way it came out in the headphones. And it was like, Nick was like, ooh, yeah. I guess I really shouldn't be trying to do something I'm really not supposed to do.
They're watching you.
No, every time. And so that was I'd love to go back. If there was ever a time we could go back there, I am so down for that.
Yeah, we could probably get back there.
Wow, that would be. That was a lot. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
So I mean, and it was just, how sometimes you go in these places where you're not exactly sure. It's like it's just kind of like on that edge.
Right.
There is no edge to that place. That place is full on up in your face. This is happening. You can't do anything about this. So yeah, that one was. Yeah, I'd really would love to go there.
Yeah.
What's another place that? Rhodes Motel. Tell me about that.
Oh, the Rhodes Motel. That's a very interesting place. Mm-hmm. It used to be a brothel.
Something about that.
Yeah. And you go up this long staircase, and as you're going up the staircase, you feel the heaviness. When you get to a certain point, you feel the heaviness. And then there's like 8 or 9 rooms up there. And I guess one of the rooms, somebody hung themselves, a preacher hung themselves, and all kinds of things went. Oh, yeah, the guy went up in the attic and hung himself. And of course, you go up in the attic, and they got a rope with a noose, where he hung himself. And I wasn't involved in this, but I can't think of who it was, but they supposedly crossed over somebody that was up there that wanted to cross over, but somebody was holding them back. And so finally they were able to cross this person over.
Oh.
And see, there was a lot of, like in the hallway, we were all sitting in the hallway, and there was noises, knockings and footsteps and shadows, all the regular stuff that goes on,
Mm-hmm.
And when it was time to go to bed, it was like each one of us were in a room by ourselves. And Nick had the REM pod out in the hallway, and that kept going off all night long. And different things like that. We were downstairs there was like a bunch of us, down there. And I have to laugh because, it was dark, and the REM pod was in the middle of the room. And Greg decided he was going to get up and walk, and he tripped over the REM pod. And as he's tripping over the REM pod, he's like, "Oh no, I don't want to break it." So he's I remember he was kind of like flying through the air. Good thing he landed on his feet, because otherwise, I think if he fell, he would have really gotten hurt.
Oh no!
Just see him flying through the air. It was so funny.
I'm sure it was like slow motion.
Yeah, that's what it was like. But yeah, there was a lot of those kind of regular stuff, with knockings, and you hear voices, and excuse me. But yeah, if are you going to be able to go when Greg goes?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to, because I'm, got the other job, and I didn't ask for it off, and I want to return next year, so I might have to kind of back out on that.
Yeah.
But
well, I was telling Nick that we should go ahead and get a date like on a weekend or something before like you guys go back in October.
Yeah.
And because that would be that's a good place to go to. You would like it there.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm like kind of all heartbroken and stuff, because I'm hearing you guys talk about it. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go. But
well, we can go another, because when Greg's going, it's kind of a hard time. He's going on a Sunday night, and people work Monday morning.
Yeah, it's like, wasn't it like a Sunday and Monday? And
yeah, Sunday night. Yeah.
Can't do a Monday.
Right.
I'm still employed.
Still employed.
Still employed.
Good.
Oh man.
Let's see what else. How about Broadhead?
Broadhead, it was interesting. Like the last time when Nick and I spent the night in the music room.
Was there a bed in there?
Yeah, they put one in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hot. It's so hot.
Oh,
it's like, okay. But we were, and Nick made the comment, right, that watch, I've been looking forward to doing this, and we got up there, we turned the lights off. 10 minutes later, he was asleep. And here I am, never spent the night in a haunted location, and I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of alone here, because there was one shadow person that it just stayed there. It didn't really move around a lot, but it stayed in the opposite corner of that was weird, huh? We just heard like this loud kind of squeaky noise, and she turns, she looks at me, and I'm like, what me? So so he was standing there, and then on the other side there's another doorway where you can get in, and there was a lot going on in that hallway, because I'm sitting there and I'm listening, and it was just like that really slight kind of rustling that you're like, now mind you, in Broadhead there is no crosswind, there is no nothing. It's hot.
Yeah.
Right? Like a rock, that boy. It's, yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm laying there and I'm hearing it, right? And gonna tell you, I had that flashlight in my hand pointed at that door all night long. I was like, I'm gonna hold on to the flashlight. Like, what is that gonna do if something decides to come up and try to, attack you? Nothing. But it's like, I've got the light. I'm a happy girl. Like, okay, but hey, I can, I've done it my first time, so hopefully, with this, I can kind of, ease into being able to do it all night long without, feeling my heart going, what's going on?
And then remember, we went down in the basement. Remember you and me and Nick he wanted to take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And his camera is on this like thing, like kind of like a tripod type thing that he holds.
It's a stabilizer.
Is stabilizer.
So you can move around so it doesn't look like it's going like this.
And then all of a sudden, this thing, the camera starts spinning around this thing. It's spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And he's like, what's happening?
Yeah, I have that on video, but I don't know how to share it on this. Yeah. And it's just going, and it was like, did that for like, what, about 4 minutes? It just kept going.
And then he got it to stop. And then we started to do it again. And then it started spinning again.
Yep. A lot of equipment failure, like the light wouldn't work, or he would try to take a picture and nothing.
Right.
And it's all in that broiler room.
Yeah.
That boiler room was
by the janitor. Didn't want you down there.
Oh, janitor, when he like appeared right in the middle of that hallway, going to his little back area, just like, I mean, you see that picture of me standing there with on our picture right there. Mm-hmm. That is exactly the same spot where he showed himself. Mm-hmm. And he was with the light behind him, the whole 9 yards, he was there. And then I looked away, the funniest thing about that is when you see something and you look away and you're like scared to look back, but scared to look away. You get into that, oh, shit, what do I do? One act like you didn't see it. You're so true, Courtney. You are just like, you want to make yourself believe that you didn't see it. You know darn well that you did. It's like,
and then you just close your eyes and hope it goes away.
Yeah. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Oh my God. It's so true. Is you're like, okay. Okay. Yeah. And I was doing okay. Going, I saw him. I'm like, okay, I acknowledge that I see you. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I looked away, and then I looked back, and there was another one kind of peeking around the corner. That's when it was like, God, I saved you from the bat, damn it. You can save me from the shadow people. Oh my God. Oh, this has been wonderful. It's actually already almost time. We got 1 minute left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you so very much for hanging out with us again for the last hour. Yeah. See, and the funny thing is that I called Sharon tonight after when I'm coming home from work saying, well, how do you want to do this? And she's like, I don't know. And I said, well, let's just kind of talk about our stuff.
Right.
And we're so thankful that you guys watch us. And
it's been a lot of fun.
It has been. You got to come on one day when it's me, you, and Nick.
Oh my God!
You want to hear it was, it's hilarious when the three of us get together.
Oh my God!
Yeah. But thank you so much, you guys. We will see you. We will see you.
We will see you
next week. Everybody, take good care of yourself, and we love doing this. Have a great time, you guys.
A lot of fun. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.